then I'll student teach.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So, yeah, it's not too bad. But this is for my child care administration class. So we have a project where we kind of have to make our own.
Okay.
So he wanted us to interview, and I just have some background questions first. The philosophy of the center. What is your philosophy?
So we believe that a great child care program is a program that has a safe environment for children, a happy environment for children, that has strong parent partnerships and family partnerships, and where children are challenged and are learning every day through the experiences of play.
Probably get that question a lot. You like knew exactly what to say.
We do.
How did you come up with that? I know you might not have individually, but how
Right.
did your...
Well, our company, a little bit about our company, we are typically associated with corporate clients. So
Okay.
What happened when our company was founded, we actually merged two different companies, but I'll give you the shorter version. We are typically set up because companies will say, you know, we want to offer a child care program for a child care center for our employees, but we don't want to run it. So they contract Bright Horizons to run child development centers for their employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the the corporate life solutions part of childcare. So that's typically, you'll see us attached with a lot of corporate clients and stuff. So when they merged two different companies, one was Corporate Family Solutions and one was Bright Horizons. When they got us together, they kind of developed our philosophies and our mission statement, and we also have something called the HEART principles, which is what all employees are expected to adhere to every day. Things like honesty, accountability, and those kind of things. So those decisions are made kind of by our team of folks at the top, and then it kind of trickles down to all our centers. So
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what age must the kids be to begin here?
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Okay. And then, do you have any limits as to how many days they can attend?
Yes. There's a minimum of 2 days.
Okay.
But we do offer kind of a unique thing. It's called drop-in care. And if you're not regularly enrolled in the center, you can use up to 20 drop-in days per year, which are just kind of random days.
Mm-hmm.
Like if, let's say, you have a nanny at home, but she's going on vacation, or grandma usually watches and she wants a break. So you can call and use those 20 days. Or if you're enrolled for 2 days and then all of a sudden, oops, you have a meeting on a Wednesday, you can drop in for a day too. So we have a minimum of 2 days, but we also offer a drop-in service as well.
Is there a maximum amount of days that a student can?
5 is the
5.
Yeah, because we're open Monday through Friday. So.
Okay, and then you're open until 5, right?
We're open till 6.
Till 6. Okay.
6:30 a.m. until 6 p.m.
What is your daily schedule like?
So it depends on, as far as for a child or for a teacher or?
The toddlers, the infants and toddlers.
Okay. So infants and toddlers, it would kind of depend. We open at 6:30 in the morning, so they can come as early as 6:30, but they trickle in throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And really with infants, it's really focused on what their individual needs are and what their individual schedule is.
Yeah.
We try to have lots of opportunities for gross motor time, so we have an indoor movement matters room that the infants can go to, and the toddlers as well. But those are kind of like, you know, if everybody's diapered and fed and nobody needs anything for a while, they'll take a group out there.
Yeah.
Or you know, if there's 4 babies who don't need to eat and, you know, don't need change or anything like that, they'll take them on a buggy ride or go out to the playground. So as long as they're meeting the needs of the infants, and they're also offering opportunities for kind of outdoor or indoor kind of gross motor play, then that's kind of how they schedule their day. With toddlers, it is a little more specific, so they spend time in the morning kind of moving around to the different centers that are in the classroom. We have a dramatic play center, a building block center, an art center. So the different centers in the room, they'll spend some time doing that. They'll do a little bit of a circle time, but with toddlers, it's not really much of an organized circle time. It's more about, you know, one teacher will sit down and begin to read and talk about some things, and whoever chooses to join can kind of join in. So, because their attention is not really there for a full circle time. But they do have a morning snack, and then they do get some of their time outside on their playground or in the Movement Matters zone if they can't get outside. And then we provide a lunch, a hot lunch, and then they do take a nap, typically from 1 to 3. And then when they get up, they spend some more time kind of going through the centers again in the classroom. And then they do a lot of small group work. So while one teacher might have all of the children kind of moving through the centers and she's kind of visiting them, So she'll go over to dramatic play and watch a few friends playing, and she'll go, one teacher will spend the time kind of going through the centers and kind of seeing what's going on, while the other teacher might be doing kind of a project. She might be doing a science project or an art project with a certain group of children. So it kind of works like that. And again, if they're interested, great, they come over and do it. If they're not, they continue to play.
Right.
So.
How many children do you have in your toddler child care program?
So in toddlers, we have at most for a given day it's 10.
Okay.
But because of part-time schedules and the way things work out, we probably have about 14 enrolled.
Okay.
But the maximum is 10, and the ratio for that is 1 teacher to 5 toddlers.
I think that was my next question. How many rooms do you have in the center?
We have 6 classrooms. We have 2 infant classrooms. We have a toddler classroom. We have a 2-year-old classroom, an early preschool, and then a kindergarten prep classroom. And then we have the movement room, which I'll show you when we get to it. So. And I apologize, I can't.
Oh no, you're fine.
I can't silence that.
Yeah, you're absolutely fine. Is there any special education services?
Not in the sense, we don't have anybody here who necessarily needs them. We certainly have therapists who are welcome to visit and who may visit from time to time to do assessments and things like that. We don't have anybody here that's specifically trained on those kind of things, but we offer referrals and references for anybody who might be needing that. If we suspect that a child might have a particular need, we'll have a conversation with the parents and really educate them about some of the screenings and availabilities for them. But
I'm going to kind of transition to food, since you talked about lunch already. How big are your portion sizes for the toddlers?
So we do, it depends. We do family style dining. So we put a lot more in the room than they actually eat because they serve themselves. So as you can imagine, a lot of it ends up on the floor. But we follow the Child and Adult Food Program and their recommendations for serving sizes and those kind of things. So if it's helpful for you, I can actually get you a chart that kind of breaks down what age group can eat what. So that might help. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. That kind of goes into my next question, my nutrition policy, which I assume is probably on that. How much does your food cost?
Well, we are very fortunate here where we don't actually pay for the food. The food is paid through our client, which is Phillips.
Okay.
However, with that being said, the last center I worked for with Bright Horizons was set up a little bit differently. And I know for morning snack, afternoon snack, and lunch, it was probably around, I want to say, $2,100 a month, something like that, which I know has gone up a lot since then.
Yeah,
so,
just brief.
It is a huge cost, and it all depends on what you're going to serve too.
Right.
Here we provide everything is baked, nothing's fried, fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, nothing canned. The only canned thing we'll serve is applesauce. We do like hummus and salmon and those kind of things, so they drive up your cost a little bit more than if you're handing them goldfish and other kind of things. So really it's kind of going to depend on what you're serving, because that could be very different.
Yeah. What do you do about allergies?
We have an allergy list that's posted in all of the classrooms, and it has not only their name and their allergy, but their photo, and that's to know, if anybody's, if the sub's coming in or anybody's in, they know what everybody's allergies are. And again, we don't have to pay for the food, so one of the nice things that we do have is our caterer provides special meals for those children. So we have a child who's allergic to egg, we have a child who's allergic to pork, we even have children who aren't necessarily allergic, but they have a preference from their parents. We even provide a substitute meal for that. So again, I don't think most places do that. It's very expensive to do that, but we're very fortunate in the fact that we don't have to pay for that, but we kind of provide a special meal for them. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of go into costs now.
Okay.
How much would you say it would cost to start a center?
Oh my goodness.
I know that's kind of a big question.
It is, and it really depends on the type of center you're going to open. I mean, there are a lot of, certainly your startup costs for a nonprofit are going to look quite different than a for-profit company, and certainly your startup costs for somebody with a corporate client supporting you financially is going to look a lot different. But there's a lot of things you've got to think about. I will say, and I don't necessarily know about startup, but I will say that probably a typical center does not make a profit for probably about 2 to 3 years. So,
Yeah.
at least our centers do not typically
That
turn a
makes
profit.
sense.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
you've got to buy the furniture, you've
Yeah.
got to have upfront training costs that for all of your teachers. You know, especially if you're a corporate company and you have certain policies and guidelines and things like that. There's at least for us a 2-week training period before teachers even
Mhm.
get into a classroom when we're starting up. So all those the salary for those training costs and
Yeah.
stuff, you're not bringing in any revenue at that point. So that's all part of your startup costs. So there's actually a ton of stuff, and if you're going to provide the clearances for all of the teachers, that costs money, and that's again all before revenue even starts
Yeah.
coming in. So
Yeah, I know. I have a group, and we were trying to make a spreadsheet of it, and we're like, oh, like at one thing after another.
Yeah.
You don't even think about.
you don't think, and you've
You
got to
know?
think about there's workman's comp taxes,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of different things, insurance, and I think everybody thinks at first, okay, well, it's about getting the furniture and the toys, and there's so much more on that just with employee costs.
Right.
So, it's quite a bit. It's an investment. I actually couldn't even put a figure on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's
How much does it cost to pay your employees?
I couldn't give you the exact number, but I can tell you that for every dollar of tuition that we collect, 6 cents of it is a profit. And that depends on the month. But I would say our salaries and benefits, which would include, and again, depending on your center type, we offer full benefits for our employees here. They get vacation time and sick time and 401k and tuition reimbursement. So adding all of those things up, it's going to be a lot more than if you just kind of have part-time,
Right.
hourly folks. And we, of course, we follow NACE, which I'm sure you're studying. But because of that, we have to have teachers with degrees, and those cost a lot more to attract. So I will say for sure that salaries are your highest expense to running a center. And if you're not willing to put the dollars into your people, then it's going to cost you more in the long run, because you're going to have turnover and unhappy parents and low enrollment and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
you want to put your dollars in your staff.
How much is a child's tuition here?
There's so many. So I'll give you a sheet,
Okay.
because we have a different rate for infants, different rate for toddlers, all of that, and then different rates for the days. And then there's a Phillips rate, because that's who our client is, and then there's a community rate. So it'd be easier if I just give you the rates.
Yep, that works.
But I would say, I know none of our rates for full-time are below 900. So,
Okay.
And we adjust those annually, and it's typically a 4 to 5% increase done every year. And that helps allow us the opportunity to give teachers raises and things. So
Can families get financial support for tuition here?
they cannot through us. They can through, if they qualify for child care partnerships. So that would be your CCIS. The thing about this center is I'm sorry, there's just a teacher out the door on the side. The thing about this center is, even if you get CCIS, CCIS will only cover a certain portion of the tuition, and most centers, they just accept that. At this center, we do require them to pay the difference. So a lot of times we don't have many families here who have that, because obviously if they can't afford tuition, they wouldn't they don't have it to pay the difference,
Right.
and things like that. We do offer some small kind of financial things, like we have employee discounts for employees. We have sibling discounts if you have more than one child. We have like a discount for the client. So there's a vacation discount for up to 8 days per year. They're not crazy discounts. It's not a lot by any means, 10% or less on those, but it's something.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
kind of help.
Helps them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna transition into staff and the requirements and things like that. And
Okay.
you kind of already touched on that, but what are the employee requirements? And you said definitely a degree because of NACE.
Yes, and it depends. I mean, if they, all of our lead teachers are required to have a degree. As Bright Horizons prefers even all of our associate teachers to have a degree. What we do offer, though, if you don't have a degree and you're proving to be committed to this, we offer an ECDA program, which is where the teachers can go online and get their CDA